Friends, how are you doing? It's Monday. I'm happy. I'm excited. The market had a pretty good day. And man, it is such an argument out there right now with this market. It is such an argument where people are going like, the market's coming back, the tariffs, not that big of a deal. Now, but we've got all this stuff going on now overseas, fighting, all that kind of, what's new? I mean, there's always someone shooting rockets at somebody at this point. It seems like, but it sucks. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But talking about our market right now, the situation at hand, I still think this is the golden moment, golden age right now to start investing in this market. So with that, obviously I want to talk about SoFi because I'm drinking the juice on SoFi hard. I'm like, my head is under the nozzle and I'm like, full blast. I'm drinking it. So, and I want to talk a little bit about Rocket Lab. I have not really talked about Rocket Lab a lot here, but it's something that I watch every day. It's a very interesting company. So with that, like I said, the market is divided right now, where you have a group of people. Literally today, I watched a panel have an argument today, like on one of these stock channels, like, Fox Stocks, whatever it was, I don't remember. But, half the panel's going like, yeah, these tariffs, still worried about them, stuff going on overseas. And then half of them are going, you know what? I think the market doesn't really care about these, these tariffs. I think the market's going to start pricing up again. I think our AI stocks are going to start to take control here, especially when we get into May, and then we start to see a lot of our big companies that we have here in the United States, North American market, they're going to start reporting quarterlies, and they're going to just start blowing people away. And with inflation going down, we could be going into a really nice summer. So we don't know right now, but we don't know. But one thing I do know is I'm not going to stop investing in this market because that has never done me good. Even when we've had crashes in the past, from 2016 to now, I've never stopped. Even when 2021, when we had that market crash, still golden opportunity. Thank God I started buying then. Here we are, we're in this moment right now with our market, and I think people really should look at a situation of what do they think about their future? What do they think about their future? Where do they want to be with this market? And the market's been doing it. The S&P 500 starting to show a little more signs of life. We're going back up in this high 56,000 range point wise, and So SoFi is a situation. Like I said, I am still buying SoFi. Anything under $15 right now with SoFi, I am buying. So I'm still actively buying in SoFi. Every time I get a little capital allocated over here, I'll put it right in SoFi. And I have multiple counts of SoFi, but some low positions, medium positions, and now obviously building up this higher position. But my hope and my desire is a very bright future with SoFi, obviously. And SoFi is coming off this big news last week that we're going to see more of, and with this $5 billion agreement with Blue Oral Capital Funds. And this is just another situation, back in September, October, SoFi had another big $1 billion deal. Okay, so what we're getting into right now, what is happening is that SoFi is growing on all these playing fields where they are just acquiring all these new customers, making bank accounts. They are acquiring these new deals right now that are going to start compounding on top of each other. We're getting into, and this is where the argument starts right here. Obviously, this is where everyone wants to write a comment and say mean and whatnot things. But this is where it starts here, where we look at, our economy and we go, okay, people spending money. What's the summer going to be like? Is inflation going to continue to go down? What's the bond market going to do? Is there going to be a housing crisis? Cars, whatnot. What is going to happen here? Because obviously people spending money is going to do good for what? It's going to do good for the economy. In retrospect, do good for banks. So, and the main thing too, if we do see a recession, a huge pullback in our, in our market, what's the first thing to take the biggest damage? It's bank stocks, 100%. Now, obviously, there's always a person in the comments that goes like, SoFi's, it's not just a bank stock, it's more of a tech stock. I get the argument right there, and part of it I agree with 100%. SoFi is amazing. They have their own software that is amazing. I have a bank account with SoFi. They're awesome here. So like listen, I'm biased. I am biased. Like if you're on the fence with SoFi, you probably don't want to hear any of this right now, and I totally get it. But like I said, I'm drinking the juice with SoFi here. So SoFi's been good to me the past 3 years, 4 years at this point. I mean, I was here buying SoFi when it was like $3-4, falling apart, but still doing well on quarterlies. But we knew more was coming down the pipeline. So listen, SoFi's slow. SoFi is like last to get to the race, but there is a conversation here where SoFi is executing quarterlies. I mean, their last 2 quarterlies were amazing, and their last quarterly was really good. So we're getting into a position where maybe Q1, I think more Q2 at this point, possibly Q3, we're going to be looking at SoFi getting into billion-dollar quarterlies, which is going to be great. That's going to change the company fundamentally with allocating money, debt, spending money here, there. Maybe even there could be conversations where later in the future, obviously, where they start buying up other smaller banks, medium-sized banks. There's real conversation with that, where they start to become more of a predator out here and start eating up their competition. In which, for you as an investor, especially right now, man, what a great position you can start buying into. So for me personally, and I know a lot of this is like a broken record of me right now, but there is a huge argument right now where we can look at this and we can go, we could be talking about in a handful of years here with SoFi, we could be talking about dividends per share. We could be talking about somewhere in the near future, if things really do start to really progress here, really push forward here, that we're going to see SoFi do a stock split. Now, what the stock will have to turn into for SoFi to go, we're going to do a stock split, I don't know. I don't know, but I think that is a real conversation much later in the future, but I think dividends would probably come before then. With that, this year is going to be the biggest year undoubtedly with SoFi. When we're going to start seeing these huge loan deals, these huge partnerships start to compound on top of these quarterlies. And I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked if Q2 of this year was like $1 billion quarterly, if not more. Q3 for sure at this rate, if they keep moving like this. But Q1, I don't know, man. We're going to see what Q1 does here. It's coming in May. I still think it's going to be good regardless, but I don't know that it's going to make it all the way to $1 billion. Like 850 million, I could roughly see them doing that, and that would still be fundamental. That'd be great because they'd be even closer to that big B there. So with that, friends, I listen. SoFi, when people like in my personal life, like, because people know that, I don't tell people that I have a YouTube channel. Like, this is not, I don't show up places and be like, I have a YouTube. It's just somebody blurts it out, somebody I know, friend, family, the wife, something. And, and then of course people will be like, ask me about stocks and what they should put their money into. I generally do not tell people about like individual stocks. I just don't, because I think it's too risky, because most people that are not in the market, they don't understand the simplest thing with the market, fluctuation, how stocks would just fluctuate. You wouldn't believe how many people right now, if they buy SoFi today at $12 and some change here, and then by Friday it bleeds back down to like $11.50, they're like, oh my God, I've got to sell this and like recoup what I can. Like, they just don't get it. They just don't get that the market fluctuates and the stocks fluctuate. I usually just tell people about ETFs. That's honest to God what I do. I was like, here's an ETF, you get a dividend off of it. All these companies are in it and blah, blah, blah. And that's a little bit easier for people to understand too. So, or mutual funds or whatever. But, with SoFi is a company that I will tell people about. Because the fundamentals are there. SoFi is doing something that I hope people are seeing right now. SoFi is going into people's homes. If you've been on YouTube, you've been on TV, you have more than likely seen SoFi start to like they're making a lot of commercials. There are SoFi commercials everywhere right now, and they're going after the younger generation. They're going after college kids. They're going after young adults. They're going after people that need car loans, house loans, maybe starting businesses, business loans, personal loans. They need accounts. They need credit cards. And this is why we're seeing the uptick so aggressively right now with SoFi when they come out with each of these quarterlies, where we're just like, good God, like look at how many people like they got just in this 3-4 month span right now. I mean, this is crazy. Every time they come out with a quarterly, like we just sit here and read it together. And we're like, oh my God, like how did they do that again? But I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. So to me, SoFi right now is becoming a predator out here for other banks. They're becoming a problem. They're going to be a huge problem for other banks here in the future, 100%. And I would rather be with the pack of lions than the pack of zebras. I mean, much as I love zebras and they're beautiful, cute, and cuddly, I would much rather be with the zebra. I would much rather be with the lions or the hyenas, whatever we want to call SoFi here, because it's moving very aggressively. Friends, with that, SoFi is moving back up, looking for this $13 range. I think it'll find it soon. The main thing right now, I have no doubt that this market would start to eat away at this position if the market can gain trust, if investors can gain trust with the market and the market can gain trust with investors. The situation is that the market, a lot of our stocks, a lot of these AI stocks, bank stocks, a lot of everything is starting to slowly, it's like crawling back up. SoFi is looking for this $13 range again. It's just like, people are getting impatient. They're buying it. It's the volume on it's doing well every day. And we're seeing it start to trickle back up, but we're seeing that across the board right now with a lot of stocks. I think Nvidia has some news coming out tomorrow, so that could like just really keep the market like on its tippy toes and really feeling good too. But May is coming. May is coming, and May is going to be producing a lot of quarterlies for big stocks. And two, with that, April is going to be a situation where the tariff situation is going to come back up again. There's some news coming out in April with tariffs. So with that, we could see another sell-off in April. Who knows? It's gonna be hard to say here. But with that, there is a situation where we're waiting for the Fed's Jerome Powell to come out here and say, hey, we're doing a rate cut. So if they announce a rate cut, SoFi is going to love that. SoFi wants that. It's going to be great for banks. It's going to be, phenomenal. And SoFi will move on top of that. So it's so, I want to say SoFi is going to be like a $20 stock here by the summer, but it's such a situation of like, I believe in SoFi. It's just the market where I go like, I just don't know where this market's going right now. No one knows. We're all just watching it together. We're going like, is the market going to start to, feel comfortable again? I mean, the market's doing good right now. Even with all this news that happened today with the warships, all that kind of stuff, the market went, it's all right. It's hard to say here. So talking about RKLB here, this is a situation, Finical USA. This is a company that is producing a lot of money, but is all over the board as well, and is more of a what can this company be in the future, obviously. And right now is going through this Finical class action lawsuit alleges that defendants throughout the class period made false and or misleading statements and have failed to disclose that Rocket Lab's plans 3 barge landing tests were. So essentially there's this lawsuit situation, but there's a lot going on, and they just acquired a German company. So this company, it's a big company. It's doing a lot of things. But majority or not, people are very in a situation where they are. And listen, I'm not saying anything bad about this whatsoever. I think it's a very interesting. I've been watching this company since it was like $11. And it's a situation of, what is the future going to be for this company? Where will they move to? Will they be acquired? Will they acquire more companies? But I look at Rocket Lab right now, and I'm talking about this because I get so many comments about Rocket Lab. I have not invested in Rocket Lab. So I want to say that I have not invested in this company, but it is a company that really I find interesting. I have not particularly ever invested in anything like this besides maybe like Tesla, and Tesla's not really involved in space. Obviously, it's SpaceX, but that's the closest I've gotten to something like that. In maybe Nano Dimensions at one point in time when they were messing around with supplying space equipment. So the situation with this right now is is Rocket Lab going to keep producing these high quarterlies? And how far is this company willing to go into the future with what they're doing right now? So I look at this stock and I go, there's uncertainty. And if the market were to crash again, I think this stock would probably obviously go back down to a $10 to $11 range. I think there's an argument that this will go back down to a $10 to $11 range, but there's a even heavier argument too that if the market continues in this little pace that it's at right now, where it stays comfortable and it keeps moving, that Rocket Lab may move back up into this $25 position and look for this $20 range again. So it's a situation that I don't want to speak too much on because there's a lot going on with Rocket Lab right now. There's a lot, and like I said, I'm not trying to say bad things about it. It's a very interesting company. I watch it like a hawk, but it's just not something that, when I saw this company back in like September, when it was $6, $7, $8, I probably should have moved on it, and I did not. But I've been watching it since to see what's happening here. But like I said, there's just a lot going on right now. And with Rocket Lab, it's a very moving company right now where they are doing good things, and they're pushing into the future of what they're doing. But I think fundamentally, if this company can keep finding deals, I mean, they got that $32 million United States defense contract back in November, and that's really what jump started all this. I mean, $32 million contract. I mean, Jesus, that is so much money. So that is really like the bones of the company right now when it comes to a lot of their money coming in, and that's why you saw such a massive jump with this company. But nonetheless, it's a very real company. They are doing amazing things. They're working with the United States government, and they've got other tentacles out there too. So I do think there's something to look at right now with this company. But I think if the market continues to move on wobbly feet here, and this kind of loses its tripod movement where it's at right now, it will probably bleed back down to a $10 to $15 range, somewhere in there. But like I said, if the market continues to find structure, find a path, find a road here with where it wants to go back under where we were just 4 or 5 weeks ago at this point, Rocket Lab undoubtedly will continue to be bought by investors with more confidence, and it will continue to go up here. So I definitely think this should be on your board. You should be watching Rocket Lab, and I think the next quarterlies are going to be very, very interesting. And undoubtedly, they killed Q4. Q3 was good. They've been making money. They should be making money. They've got these huge contracts. So Q1 of 2025 should be good. So with that, can it be like $150 million good? We'll see. That will really be the telltale sign. Friends, I really do want to wish all of you best of luck. I'm excited. Everyone should be excited. This is an amazing time to be a part of this market. And like I said, I know I didn't give too much of a double-edged sword on SoFi, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong with SoFi. I'll have to, just take that to the grave. But I'm excited about SoFi. I'm excited about a lot of these stocks. I'm excited about this year overall in the market. Even if we see some more downslide, I'm going to continue to, put money in this market 100%. And I'm okay with that. Friends, take care. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you're listening. Bye, everyone.